All right, next day here at the shop, and we are back to get started on this project. I made a little pit stop this morning. Actually went to a couple places and picked up a couple things we're going to need for this. First thing I got was some primer. So this is 3M's primer. I picked it up at Napa, and 08682. And what this is just a single stage primer that we can put around this pinch weld and just ensure we don't have any scratches or anything like that that are going to rust over time. So we'll put this single stage primer on there after we get it all cleaned up and ready to go. The other thing I picked up at Home Depot was masking paper. So for some reason I ran out. So we've got more now. So I'm going to throw this down on the car around the edge just to provide us a little extra protection from anything getting on the paint. We did a pretty good job last night. A couple little spots we got cleaned up real quick with some wax and grease remover, but it doesn't hurt to have a little extra protection. So let's get started. Definitely feel a lot better now that we have proper protection around this window opening. This paper just gives us a little extra protection for the paint, make sure we don't get anything on it, especially as we start to clean this window jamb. It's going to get nasty, messy. It's going to be a lot of wiping and scrubbing and pulling and scraping and everything else. So we'll get this cleaned up and get ready to move on. But the next step is to get this jamb all cleaned up. So let's get after it. So this stuff is nasty and very difficult to clean, which I knew it would be, but scrub, 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 more scrubbing, scraping, scrubbing, and done just a little section. So we'll keep at it, keep scrubbing, keep scraping, keep wiping, and just try and clean it out the best we can, get it down to a nice smooth finish so that we can prime it, get ready for the window to go back in. I'm probably going to jump in the car and throw some tape on the inside and just tape up the inside. Right now we've got some trash bags taped here just protecting this back package tray and back seat, but as I do this top section up here, you know, stuff's going to be falling down. So I'm going to go ahead and tape it off and throw some paper in there, just try and protect anything from falling inside the car. So let's go ahead and get it taped up, and then after that, man, just get back to scrubbing. So it's just a dirty, slow process. If you guys know a better way to do this, throw something in the comments. Let me know. This is my first shot at it, so I've never cut out a window, never cleaned one up or installed one, so this is all new. So just let me know what you guys think. All right, here we are. We've been working for quite a while now, and you can kind of see the progress we've made. So we've gone around and just basically you cut it down as low as you can. You take a razor blade or a scraper, get the urethane to cut as smooth as possible, and then just, I'll show you what we've been using is just this wax and grease remover. You can use whatever brand. You want the cheapest stuff possible. You just need it. This wax and grease remover is kind of expensive, but it cuts through this urethane and kind of dissolves it. So you can see what we've ended up with here is kind of a clean pinch weld. You can take it down to the metal if you want, or just get it as smooth as possible. We're, you know, not perfect all the way around, but it's fairly smooth, fairly clean. And then what we'll do is come back next, and we're going to start on this, is take this, it's basically a single part primer, and you'll just brush it on. So that's the stuff we got at Napa this morning. So it's just a black primer paint, single step primer here. We've got some lacquer thinner here just to clean up. We'll be wearing a respirator because this stuff's kind of potent. So it's just like if you were spraying a car, you're not going to want to breathe the fumes, even though we're just going to brush it on. So we're just going to use a little arts and crafts brush here, and like you do with a model or any sort of art and craft project, and just brush it right on. And kind of did this section down here. What we end up with is just a clean encapsulated section. So you don't want that pinch weld to rust underneath there. So if you leave that bare metal where we've scratched it down, eventually you'll get some rust in there. You don't want that. So this primer is just going to really seal everything in and protect the metal before we, throw the urethane and the window back in there. So that way you don't have any issues down the road. It also gives it a good base for the urethane to adhere to. So that's the next part of the project here. Just get the little arts and crafts brush out. Everything's wax. We use wax and grease remover, so everything's clean. So it shouldn't have any problem sticking. So we'll just go around the window and take our time. Don't want to get anything on the car, obviously, and just slowly brush this on. Seal up this entire pinch weld all the way around, and then we'll be good to go. We'll let that dry. So we will start on that now. Well, that's a wrap for today. So spent a good amount of time over here. We went ahead and primed basically from this corner about halfway around. So we've got some of it primed. So we'll get back over here next time and finish priming and get it ready for the window to go back in. So, yep, that's it for today. What's up, guys? We are back at it. It's been a few days, but back over here to finish out this glass project. So gonna make sure we get this jam completely painted tonight, get it all in primer. You can hear the thunder in the background. It is hot here in Atlanta. It's like 100 degrees heat index today, pretty humid, and sounds like it's about to storm. So if so, we'll have to pull down this garage door, and it's going to get real stuffy in here. But we'll work through it to try and get this project basically ready to install the glass. That's my goal, get it ready to install the glass. So we've got our stuff here. We've got our little brush. We've got our paint and some lacquer thinner and some gloves. And we'll go ahead and knock this out and just get after it like we were the other day. So just need to prime all the way around. We got maybe a quarter of it done, maybe a little more than that. So we got a good bit left to do, and there's nothing to do but just get after it. All right, it is still thundering, but we've got the primer on now. So, went down pretty well. Just takes time, just brush it on. What we're trying to do is just put a good base coat on there, make sure there's no bare metal, that way you don't get any rust underneath your urethane, start rusting out your windowsill. So we've got that on there. The rain is just now getting here. It's been thundering the whole time I've been doing this. So fortunately it's held off, so we keep the door open. So next task is going to be jumping back on this window and just finish cleaning up. You can see right here around the edge, we've got some urethane here. We've just got to clean up. I'm going to take the tape back off of it, and then just really wipe it down, clean up the rest of the urethane, the old stuff. There's still some up here in the corner around this edge. You can see the paper towel stuck to it. Nasty stuff. So finish cleaning this up, and then at that point we'll pretty much be ready for install. So I ordered some stuff last night. So these clips that are here on the edge that hold the chrome on, so you can see them kind of spaced all the way around. I'm gonna put another one possibly here in the middle. So there's one right there, and I know they're hard to see, and one right there. Put one possibly in the middle, and then this corner down here. So we've got a clip here, and we've got a clip all the way up here. It really needs one kind of right in here. This corner, we had trouble getting it to stay on previously, and we'd actually use some, some silicone to kind of black, kind of gasket maker to hold it down in this corner. But I'm going to go ahead, I ordered the clips last night, so they should be here in a couple days. We'll go ahead and put another clip here, and then possibly one at the top. And then I also ordered some nozzles for the urethane, which was right here. So they came with a nozzle. So this 3M urethane came with one, but they actually make one that's got a V, it's already got the V notch cut in it. And it's got like a barb that sticks off the end. And that barb, what it does is allows you to kind of put it on the edge, and it keeps you perfectly spaced as you go around and throw down this bead of urethane. It will allow you to keep it, spaced off the edge exactly where you want it, instead of trying to freehand it and getting it in here however you can, because this urethane is pretty hard to pump out of the caulk gun. So we'll heat it up some, make it a little easier, but that's a project for another day. So those are two things I'm waiting on now. So in the meantime, I wanted to go ahead and get the primer on, and then get on that back glass and go ahead and finish. That way I'm ready to install the clips, and then really the window's ready to go back in. So let's get on that glass and get it cleaned up. All right, that is a wrap for tonight. Another night in the books. We've got the window frame done. We got the glass cleaned up. So you can see back there, it looks pretty good. Got everything clean, wiped down, ready to go. So now we'll just wait on our parts to come in, get those clips, and get the nozzle for the urethane tube, and then we will be ready to put this thing in the car. So hopefully by the end of the week, we'll be able to get that done and finish this project up. Parts have arrived. So we got parts. We got the clips. They're going to hold the back chrome on. So most of our clips were good. We just needed to add a couple, if you'll remember. So these are rear glass reveal molding clips, Chevy Nova 66 and 67. So ordered these off of eBay. They came pretty quick, couple days. There's 25 clips in here. And it looks like they give you 5 studs, which is good, because that's one of the reasons I ordered this kit, is because we need the studs, because we're going to add 2 additional clips. So the clips we have on here are fine. The ones that are on the car are good. There's nothing wrong with them. So let's see if you can see that one there. So same type of clip we ordered. You put the stud in, and then you just kind of lock the clip in here. So the ones we have are fine. We're just going to add one down in this corner, and then one up in the top in between that clip and that clip. So kind of right there in the middle. So that's where we had an issue with it popping up a little bit before, and really it's because that urethane kind of was starting to come off. The glass is coming up a little bit. But it'll help hold it down there. And then down here in this corner, we had just used a bunch of basically gasket maker and kind of siliconed it down to keep the chrome from popping up. So we're going to add some clips, get it in there properly. So first thing we'll do is take our drill bit. So I got the Craftsman set up here. and we will drill a small pilot hole. These studs are pretty small, so we'll just take our time with this little drill bit. If you're like me, you've broken all the small drill bits you have. So I found one I think small enough, so we'll roll with that. If it's too big, then we'll go to plan B and go pick up some drill bits. But we'll try this first. I think it's going to work. So we'll drill some holes and then run the studs in, and then after that we'll get the clips put on. So Lord willing, be a fairly simple adventure here. Of course, like any hot rod thing, you never know. But we'll give it a go, see how it turns out. Alright, the clips have been installed. So let's take a look at the first one down here. I had a little trouble. I put the first stud in a little too low. Had to do another one up a little, kind of further out that way. So I had it too low to the window jamb at first. And then this one up here, no problems. I marked the hole with some tape, figured out exactly where I wanted it, and then ran the drill bit in, and then had to get a bigger screwdriver to kind of get it screwed in. But we've got a couple clips here now, so we shouldn't have any issues keeping the chrome in place. So we've got the proper clips on here, so it should be good to go. At this point, we'll be pretty much ready for final install. So I think the next time we see you guys, we will get the urethane out and see if we can't get the window set in place. So should be pretty much ready. Alright guys, so today is the day we're finally going to set the glass back in the car this afternoon. So I got my buddy Jeremy on the way over, and Jeremy has a lot more knowledge about this than I do. So growing up, he used to ride on a glass van with his dad, who was a glass installer. So he's got a lot of experience doing this, so he knows the little tips and tricks. So he is going to come over this afternoon after work, and we're going to get the urethane out and go ahead and set this window back into place. So that will be exciting, ready to get that step done. So he should be here shortly. As soon as he arrives, we will get to work on taking that glass, putting it back in the car. The man of the hour.
What's up, man?
What's up, man? You ready to get after it?
Let's do it.
All right, so we're getting ready to start. Jeremy is getting the caulk gun cleaned up, ready to go. And then over here, we've got a little space heater where we've been heating up the urethane. So this is one of our extra ones. So if we roll in here, we can see the one we're going to be working with. And what we've got is our urethane here, which is now warm. We've had it in front of that heater for a while, and you can see the tip that we have here. So it's already got the V-notch cut in it. It's also got this nub here, so that when we get over to the window jamb, we'll be able to just put it right here, and that'll guide us around so that we can keep the same distance kind of off the center line there. So we should be able to get this thing in. So let's see if we can make it happen. got the glass in the car now. So Jeremy, we did run into a few issues. First of all, you really got to heat up the urethane. Okay, so however long you leave it in front of that heater, just leave it longer because it needs to be hot. So we ended up cranking out that first tube and then picking up the second tube, which we had in front of the heater, for longer, and it was just way easier to apply. Second thing is the caulk gun we have has really short handles on it, and actually I have one at home that I should have gone to get that has longer handles. Definitely the longer the handle the better, or if you got a pneumatic one or any sort of powered one, it would be best, because this stuff is really hard to get out of the tube, which we knew it would be. And then third thing, let me see if I can, here, yeah, just get where we can see that tube there. So this is the fast cure urethane, and what we ran into is, we think it's fine, but you know, we kind of started up here and worked our way down and around, and we could definitely tell by the time we got back around, the stuff that we had started with almost started to set up. So it just wasn't as tacky anymore, but we went ahead and dropped the window in, and it, you know, pushed it down evenly all the way around, and got it squared up in the window jamb, and it looks like it's going to be okay. We were just a little bit concerned, kind of from where we started down to around about halfway, kind of right in here. You can just tell by looking, it doesn't look like it adhered quite as well as it did on the rest of it. The rest of it, you can really tell there's a solid seal all around the top, all around that side, all around the bottom. So what we'll do is we'll let this sit up 24 hours, come back tomorrow, and then get it wet, and let's see if we have any water leaks or anything like that. I don't think we will. I think it's in there good enough. I think we're fine. But we'll just test it out tomorrow, just to ensure before we put the chrome back on that we don't have any leaks or anything like that. So otherwise, the process went okay. It definitely took both of us squeezing that handle. There's no way either one of us could have done it by ourselves, because you'd have just burned out. Really hard to squeeze. And this was, you know, I got this urethane from Summit. They had either the fast cure or the super fast cure. So those are the only two options that I saw through Summit. So just a note, if you're working with this stuff, definitely want to just do the fast cure and then kind of work around it as quick as you can. All right, so we'll see. Hopefully no leaks. We'll find out tomorrow. All right, so the next evening, back over here at the shop again. So the objective for today is to go ahead and untape the car. So get all the paper, get all the tape off. Then I'll back it out here and see if we have any leaks. Alright guys, so let's do a little recap. We're going to do a recap on the tools that we used for this project. So looking over these, there's a couple chemicals, or a few that we used. We had lacquer thinner, a good wax and grease remover is a good thing to have on hand. So lacquer thinner, wax and grease remover. We have the urethane. So we ended up, if you remember, going with the fast cure urethane from 3M. I would probably recommend a medium if you can find it, or something that dries a little slower, or just work faster. Granted, it was probably 90 degrees or higher here when we did it, and fairly high humidity. Some good glass cleaner. We have some masking paper and tape, so those are good to have. We have the special tips. So I don't think I ever really showed you these, but you can take a look at them here. So these are a bag I bought. I think 5 of them came in here, 6 of them, and they weren't too expensive, $5 or $6, but shipping was like $12 or something like that. So, but they're well worth it. So they do fit on the urethane. This comes with a tip, but this one worked out a lot better, so I'm glad we got it. The cold knife. So we used this equalizer cold knife that we showed you. It's adjustable, worked really well. You don't need anything fancier than that based on the project we just did. There is, there's some more expensive tools out there. There's some really neat stuff. If you're going to be doing a lot of them, then you may want to invest in something like that. Just a one-off like we're doing, this is more than sufficient. More 3M product, single step primer. So if you look at, like, I got this from Napa, pinch weld primer. So this is great. It's got a little ball in it. You just shake it up, use a brush, put it on, and there's plenty. This small little container, I don't know how many ounces this is. One ounce, more than enough to do what we did. Brackets, or clips I should say. So Chevy Nova clips, molding clips for the back. We added a couple extra. If you have good ones, you won't need those. If you're missing them all together, this pack has more than enough in it to do what you need to do. Some good gloves. You're going to go through a ton of gloves. Getting that urethane off and putting the window in. So have you a bunch of gloves. Caulk gun, get a good one. Get one with longer handles. This one was not sufficient. This isn't actually the one we used. This one just like it. Not sufficient. Need longer handles, more power when you're squeezing. Drill and drill bits if you're doing the clips. If you need to install the studs, those came in handy. This clip removal tool was fantastic. So we talked about this already, but really made that process of getting in there and getting those clips out super easy. Paper towels. You're going to go through rolls and rolls of paper towels. So just go ahead and grab you a pack and have those handy. So that's kind of a review, not a lot involved. If you already have some of this stuff, there's not a lot to it. It's not super difficult. I wouldn't rate this as a super difficult project. Occasionally you need an extra set of hands, is very helpful. I mean, the pros do it by themselves all day long, but I'm not that good. So extra set of hands will help. But now let's take a look at the finished product. Step back here and look at it. It turned out perfect. So I don't see any issues with it. We didn't have any leaks. If you'll notice, I left the paper on the inside of the car where we taped it up because that paper will really show you where the water drips down if there is any. So I went ahead and left it in there while I was testing with the water, just so I could see if there were any leaks. Didn't have any issues. Struggled a little bit getting the chrome back on. You may have seen that. But now it looks really good. So glass is in there. This is a smoked glass. The glass is actually smoked. And we can see some streaks on it. I didn't clean it very good. But chrome back on. Windows in there. It's all sealed up. So as far as this project goes, that's pretty much a wrap. So thanks to everybody that helped me on it. Thanks for the guidance. If you saw anything I did that I could do better next time, because I'm sure there will be a next time, just leave me a comment down there. Love to hear from you guys. Alright, that's a wrap. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on those post notifications so you'll know every time we post a new video.